Hey everybody, welcome to this week's segment of the weekly news. Basically, it's a time where we just go over some of the headlines and try to see how the world is slowly but steadily and sometimes rapidly moving towards the end as prophesied by our prophets and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. One of the things I wanted to mention is that, it's been a while since we heard about Syria, but it's evident that war is still going, okay? That civil war is still going, and in that, the Israelis are looking at every opportunity to attack Syria because of its geographic importance to their defense. That they're right there, and that you could just launch bombs and just move product, and in this case chemical weapons, into the region through Syria. So its instability is of major concern to Israel, and they warn of a possible preemptive strike in Syria. Okay. Now, what does this have to do with Bible prophecy? Well, it's in Isaiah. The burden of Damascus, and the e-sword. You go to Isaiah, because a whole bunch show up. Isaiah 17:1. Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. Okay, and this is about to happen. Okay, and I said it was about to happen in July. Okay, but until this whole situation is squashed, until there is civil unrest in Syria and a threat to Israel that has Israel threatening to invade Syria, any day now, okay? In warfare, it's calculated in that, when it's going to happen, it's going to happen. They know it's already scheduled to happen. When is it going to happen? Okay, and that's what we're waiting for patiently, but that's what we're waiting for as far as Syria is concerned. We have Ahmadinejad, the president of Iran, who in his meditative state is speaking to the Mahdi, which is an Islamic angel who speaks to him and his Pope, who his Ayatollah, who both of them believe that they are here on earth to usher in the return of the Mahdi. Okay, and it's interesting what Ahmadinejad's saying is, world Muslims should forge unity in their struggle with bullying powers, and by the time that the Zionist usurpers commit crimes through occupation and vandalism, it is not advisable to sit idle and to take no action. All differences and discords among Muslims have roots in our misunderstanding of Holy Quran and guidelines of Prophet Muhammad. And they say praise be unto him. Okay? Praise none but God. Today we need leadership similar to the Prophet to get the Muslim world united. Today we need leadership similar to the Prophet to get the Muslim world united. Now, I don't think Muhammad comes back in their literature, but I know a Mahdi, okay, a false prophet, an angel that comes down representing God, representing their Allah, which Akbar, which is the mouse, and the disgusting thing that congregates in the garden with the fallen angels. Okay, and I've shown you that verse in Isaiah. Okay, and go mouse. So I take the term mouse, and this word Akbar is used only twice in Leviticus 11:29 and Isaiah 66:17. They that call themselves sanctified and purified in the garden, these are the holy ones, okay? And they stand in unity in the middle, and they are eating swine's flesh is what it's saying, but it's basically they are going against Torah, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord, and the devil and his angels and the host of them will be consumed by God when he comes, by Yeshua's two-edged sword, okay, in the lake of fire. So Isaiah 66:17 is in reference to that when properly translated into the Hebrew. Akbar is mouse, okay? So it's never stopped, okay? This channel was started because of this situation, okay? Because of this situation in the Middle East and with Iran and Syria and Israel ready to strike, and Ahmadinejad trying to mobilize this new Muslim community in the Middle East. It's not necessarily new, but the leadership of these countries like Egypt, by Muslim Brotherhood representatives, is new, okay? We used to control Egypt, okay? And now they are out of control with the blessings of our president, okay? And so, the last little bit before I go on is, Henry Kissinger, one of the insiders in the New World Order, one of the Illuminati, okay, Kissinger. He's warned that a crisis involving a nuclear Iran is in the foreseeable future, okay? And he, like Obama, has a Nobel Peace Prize, okay? He said nuclear proliferation in the region triggered by an armed Iran would increase the chances of an atomic war. Quote, a turning point in human history. What is that turning point? Why do you think in the Bible that at the end all of the armies are on horses? Because at some point in the future there will be all-out nuclear war, and it'll basically send this earth back into the dark ages technology-wise, okay? And that's not me saying it. Read the Bible. It doesn't say vehicles. It says horses. Okay? It doesn't say Humvees. It says horses. Okay? He says, there has emerged in the region a current and most urgent issue of nuclear proliferation. For 15 years, the permanent members of the United Nations Security Council have declared that a nuclear Iran is unacceptable. But it has been approaching, he said. In a few years, people have to come to a determination of how to react or the consequences of non-reaction. A nuclear annihilated Israel. I believe this point will be reached in a very foreseeable future, he added. Okay? For you conspiracy theorists out there, this is a warning from the inside. Okay? For us in Bible prophecy, this is just a sign that we keep in our watch book as notes written down as watchmen and women. Okay? And we know the end is near. How far, who knows, but nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom before that great and terrible day of the Lord, okay? So, China conducts missile defense test. India tests nuclear capable missile. North Korea, okay? They all got nukes and they all don't like us, okay? So, that's just it for this week. I just want us to, the last thing we can talk about, I guess, is Fed debates indefinite pump. Okay? And this is going to be the collapse of our economy at the Fed. An asset debate on when to slow asset buying. The Federal Reserve has left little doubt about its plans for the next few months, and thus little mystery about the statement it will release Wednesday after the latest meeting of its policy-making committee. The economy remains weak. The Fed will keep buying bonds to hold down borrowing costs. Read this. The Fed will keep buying its own debt the Fed is a foreign bank, so it's buying all the debt of the United States. Okay, money that it has lent the United States through bond issuing. Okay? Inside the central bank, however, debate is once again shifting from whether the Fed should do more to stimulate the economy to when it should start doing less. Proponents of strong action to reduce unemployment won a series of victories last year, culminating in December when the Fed announced that it would hold short-term interest rates near zero, at least until the unemployment rate fell below 6.5%. The rate was 7.8 in December, all right? So listen, if you've been watching this channel, that you know that you can Google Bernanke Speech November 2002. Okay? And here it is. November 21, 2002. And I'm going to read from his speech. And he said he would do everything that he has done so far. And he's taken the interest rates to zero. And what does he say? He says that and I'm reading from his speech, okay, in order to prevent the deflation of the U.S. economy. He's going to do everything, okay? He's basically told all the wealthy people of the world what he was going to do over the last 10 years. And now, in his final hour, okay, he is saying, and just bear with me on this, I'm trying to read his whole speech right here. You know, talking about commitment to keep short-term rates for zero over time, you know, short-term rates to zero. The Fed could afford the interest rate ceilings by committing to make unlimited purchase of securities up to 2 years from maturity at prices consistent with targeted yields. They're doing that right now, okay? All right. And then he goes on to say, bear with me, here we go. Although a policy of intervening to affect the exchange value of the dollar is nowhere on the horizon, yes it is, today, that was 2002, but in 2013, you better believe it is. It's worth noting that there have been times when exchange rate policy has been an effective weapon against deflation. A striking example from U.S. history is Franklin Roosevelt's 40% devaluation of the dollar against gold in 1933 and 34. Enforced by a program of gold purchases and domestic money creation, the devaluation and the rapid increase in money supply it permitted ended the U.S. deflation remarkably quickly. Indeed, consumer price inflation in the United States year on year went from 10.3 in 32 to 5.1% in 33 to 3.4% in 34. The economy grew strongly, and by the way, 1934 was one of the best years of the century for the stock market. If nothing else, the episode illustrates that monetary actions can have powerful effects on the economy, even when the nominal interest rate is at or near zero, as was the case at the time of Roosevelt's devaluation, and it's the case right now. What does that mean? Well, it means by 40% devaluation of the dollar. So I think, let me just be stupid, but either way, I think it means if you have a dollar and you devalue it by 40%, I think you have 60 cents. I'm not sure, because 40% of a dollar is 40 cents, and you devalue that dollar by 40 cents, that leaves you 60 cents. If you have $100,000 in your IRA, and they devalue the dollar by 40%, you now have $60,000. Okay? Do the math. You know, if you're a statistician, do the math. Tell me what the number is. Okay? But just know, we are on the precipice. Okay? And there's no fear. I'm not afraid of no nuclear holocaust. I'm not afraid of, there were ashes all over I put ashes all over my lunch the other night, in my dream last night. Okay, and I was walking through to go eat my lunch. It was crazy. I don't care. Okay, I'm not worried about any of that. I see this. This is happening. This is real. Okay, and who comes to save the world from its global world war and its devalued economies that has people killing each other in the streets for a loaf of bread? Okay, it isn't Jesus. It is Antichrist. Okay, so everybody with Jesus is coming, Jesus is coming. No, tribulation is coming, and a time of peril that has never been seen on this planet before, or nor will ever be seen again. So be prepared, okay? I love you guys. And, that's the weekly news for January 28th, 2013. God bless.